Yes, I'm Stanley Smith, and this is things that's in my shop that I remember seeing on the farm years ago when I was just a kid, and we'll just take a circle and look at some of it. Like up here is some old horse equipment, double trees and horseshoes, and some old stuff, oil can, kerosene can, and antique lantern, and steel traps and boards to stretch the hides on. That I did trapping when I was a kid on the Whitewater Creek and in the woods. And it's a lot of old crocks and old cigar boxes and old soda cartons and things. And my dad smoked cigars, so that's probably his boxes that he had years ago. And this is the frog gigs that I used when I was younger, and then the big long gig up there is a fish gig that my dad and some friends of his used gigging fish on Whitewater Creek a lot. So, and they got a lot of fish. And there's some of my fishing stuff, an old smudge pot to keep the mosquitoes and stuff away, and a lantern and tackle box and bait box and 2 rod and reels that I used. And the old one there in the center belonged to an old man that used to fish in Burfordville from Gravel Hill when I was just a kid. And I got that at his auction after he died, and I've never seen another one like it. And the the clock is a clock that used to be in the break room at the pipeline where I worked. And the old fiddle in the frame, and is one my dad traded a pig for the fiddle, and I don't know what he wanted the fiddle for. He couldn't play it, but. And the songbook is my wife's mother's songbook from the church that she attended years ago in Marble Hill. And there's a juice harp, I think it's called, up above it. And this area here is hay equipment, taking hay up in the loft of the barn, and that's for taking loose hay and bringing it up in the barn loft and tripping it and letting it out. That's a hay knife and hay forks and a big long wrecking bar. And the old tractor seats didn't come from the farm. Tricia got them at a garage sale up around Arnold several years ago, and we had some on the farm, but it didn't look as good as these, so I used these. And the basketball was the autographed by the Globetrotters. And they stayed in they were performing at Silver Dollar City for 2 summers in Branson, and our condo was one that was picked at Thousand Hills where they was going to stay, picked for them to stay in while they were there. And then that's an old wringer from a washing tub outside with the 2 little washboards. And a little post auger thing there. And then the tools up on top are cranks and for old tractors and trucks and different tools, and a couple things on the bottom there for a forge and a blacksmith shop. And the center up here is all from livestock, cattle and hogs. And the sign was my father's sole registered Hereford cattle at sales they used to have at the fair. They would show them, and then they would have auctions. And this is all cattle equipment. There's a shocker and a lariat rope, a whip, and deer notchers. And the big thing up above the sign is a dehorner. And that's my great-grandfather, or my grandfather and my dad, and a little western shirt that I used. My grandmother made clothes for me when I thought I was a cowboy. And the two little horse heads there on the side of that picture are horse sticks. I took the handle off of them and put them there. And here just cutting and hoeing things that were used on the farm, and with grass cutting and whatnot. And the three things here is old cistern and well things. And this is just a bunch of old tools that came off of the original farm. And this is my gas light. It's an electric line run through a gas hose and a nozzle with a light bulb in it. And there is different types of axes that was on the farm. And
what about the stuff like on the bottom all?
all this here. Well, this is just things I've accumulated over the years, an old BB gun. And this is military stuff that from my time in Vietnam and in the Army. And a $2 bill is one, my dad and I went to the other side of Piedmont to a place to get crystal fence posts. And I was just a kid. And we stopped for breakfast in Piedmont, Missouri. And they'd paid the shoe factory workers there that week in $2 bills, so the new $2 bills all over town. And he got me 2 of them. And I carried that one in my wallet for I don't know how many years. And you can tell it was brand new whenever we got it. And I carried it for 20 or 30 years probably in my wallet.
And you took it to Vietnam?
Yeah, had it through Vietnam. And it's just patriotic stuff. Here's a picture of the old bridge and the mill at Burfordville. And the mirror is horse things with a mirror made to fit in the back of it, horseshoes and the things.
What about your desk?
Pardon me?
What about your desk?
Oh, the desk came from the pipeline. It was a desk in the office out there that they got rid of. It's an old heavy-duty desk. And a lot of just collectibles on top of it. This is a rock with a painting. And on the desk is just odds and ends from things I've collected over the years.
What about all your mugs over there?
Yeah, I started collecting mugs and stuff from different places where we had been and traveling around, and have got it set up like I want to end it, but it's just kind of thrown in there for the time being. And this is a picture of my grandfather Wilforth, and he graduated from Will Mayfield College in Marble Hill and taught school for a few years.
And what about the story of him going to school?
The what?
The story of him walking to school?
Oh, yeah, the story was that when he first started teaching, he walked a few miles to school and would take his shoes off, going to school and walking and going home to not wear his shoes out. And when he'd get to school, well, it was just a one-room school, and he would build a fire to heat the building, and then put a pot of beans or something on top of the stove to feed the kids at lunch. and then they got their schoolwork, and a lot different than it is now. And the things there are just old things I just kind of collected, the old stagecoach and and the bulletin board. This bracelet is one Bella and Livy made me in Branson for my birthday, and they wanted to go stop at Walmart after a show one night, and we didn't know what they wanted, what they wanted, but they went in Walmart and got the things to make that bracelet with, and then surprised me with it the next day.
Bella drew that picture.
Oh, and Bella drew the picture for the birthday card.
Livy wrote the note. Livy wrote that note down
Oh, this is the note from them. It says, "Hi, Grandpa. I love your shop. It is very awesome."
And what about this picture right here?
And this is a picture I put out in the field along the highway of where the accident where I run a three-wheeler into the bale of hay and he got stuck in the hay.
Did anyone come and say, like, what's going on?
and people would stop and take pictures of that along the road.
Trish made that poem. That little poem Trish made.
I didn't.
That poem right there, Trish made it on a bulletin board.
Trish made the poem.
Oh yeah, the poem here was Bella and Livy made that for us too, or for me up on the birthday too. And this thing.
Trish wrote the poem.
Well, Trish wrote it.
Huh?
My mom wrote the
Oh,
poem.
okay. The mom,
Yeah.
Bella's mom wrote the poem for Bella to give to me. Yeah.
You made that rod and reel.
Oh. Well, this is just an old rod and reel that put a corn cob on it. It's a back stretcher.
You want to close the door
Okay.
and we'll show what's above there?
Yeah. And up above the door is an old crosscut saw and log tongs, just different things in the timber work, and then a different kind of axes and hatchets over there on that part. With the big wide one is a broad axe, and just different things there.
What about these long things up here in the corner?
This here,
Yeah.
that's horse teams that you would use to hook up horses to pull your wagon or your machinery, whatever you was using.
What are those tools you spoke there by the sign? Those tools up there by the sign.
Up here,
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
That's more veterinary tools, like the dehorners up above the sign, and the little wooden handle things are dehorners for little calves, and the thing on the rope is a nose lead. You put in the nose of a cattle to train them to break them to lead, and the longer thing there is a pill gun, and a vaccinating needle over here with a bloating needle in the middle. Where if you had a cow that was bloated, you just stick that in her belly and pull the handle back, and he'd let the gas out of them. And this is just a lot of old tools that was on the farm that I remember being there all my life.
What about these rocking chairs?
Oh yeah, the rocking chair here. This one was my grandmother sent in when she got elderly and moved in with Mom and Dad, and that was her rocking chair in the room where she slept. And I don't know what the story is on this one, but
All right.
I think that's basically it.
That's about it. And you said this is your favorite place on your farm?
This is a place, yeah, my favorite place. I like to come here and take a break when I'm mowing or something. And come in and get a bottle of water and sit down and rock and just kind of look around.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get tired of it?
Not yet.